Hi, everybody. Good evening to all of you. Thank you so much for joining in. You're with us today for our first webinar for the month of May. Let me tell you a little about Entrepreneurs Lanka before we start the webinar. Entrepreneurs Lanka is a registered non-profit network organization that's working towards helping and uplifting the SMEs in Sri Lanka. Since we are unable to meet in person to conduct general meetings, Exco of Entrepreneurs Lanka have planned a series of webinars, and you'll be joining a very interesting session today. If you would like to know more about us, reach out to us through our social media platforms. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And if you would like to know more about becoming a member of Entrepreneurs Lanka, you can also message us through our social media platforms, or drop me a message. My name is Thilini Ostwald. I am the founder and president of Entrepreneurs Lanka. So I hope you enjoy today's session. Please feel comfortable. It's going to be an interactive session. You will be able to ask questions as well. So I hope all of you enjoy the show today. Over to you, Shohan.
Okay, thank you very much, President Thilini. Okay, thank you for providing me this opportunity to moderate this session. And I think this is a very essential topic during this time, and this is also very essential in our entrepreneur journey and also in our personal life. So I'm not the best person to talk about this topic, so we have brought in the best person in Sri Lanka to talk about the art of negotiating. So before handing over to Tissa, I would like to call upon our treasurer, Roshan Fernando, to introduce our guest speaker.
Hi, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. So today our speaker is Tissa Disanayake. Tissa Disanayake is the founder CEO of Master Trainer Boston Negotiation Group. Boston Negotiation Group is dedicated to improve negotiation, communication, and leadership skills of corporate executives and entrepreneurs. He has successfully secured hundreds of international deals during his negotiation career, expanding over 25 years with hands-on experience over 30 countries in Europe, Asia Pacific, and Middle East. Tissa sharpened his negotiation skills at Negotiation and Leadership Program at Harvard Law School, Cambridge, USA. He earned his MBA from Postgraduate Institute of Management, PIM, University of Sri Jayewardenepura. He has a postgraduate diploma in marketing, CIM UK, and diploma in business management of University of Colombo. He is competent leadership coach certified by Master Coach London, United Kingdom. Tissa is a writer, keynote speaker, and a frequent contributor to LinkedIn articles on the subjects of negotiation, communication, and leadership development. He is a visiting lecturer of MBA program at Postgraduate Institute of Management, University of Sri Jayewardenepura. Tissa is an advanced communicator and a dual member of FTS Toastmasters and Pinnacle Advanced Toastmasters as well. In addition to this formal introduction, I also want to introduce Tissa as one of my great leaders, where I learned a lot about negotiation when Tissa was president of Rotary Club Colombo Centennial, and how motivation and negotiation, personally, I learned a lot. So I'm also very highly excited to learn more today, Tissa. So I learned, I think you all will learn, especially in these tough times, how to negotiate deals and take your businesses further. All the best, Tissa, and all the best to all of you.
Thank you very much, Roshan. So without taking much time, over to you, Tissa.
Thank you very much, Roshan, for that generous, colorful, lengthy, and dynamic introduction. It was May 2011, May 2011, exactly 10 years ago. I was sitting right in front of the Jerry Barbosa, the Filipino, the category buyer of Qatar duty free in Doha, Qatar. Now, Doha, Qatar is one of the countries amongst 30 plus that my boss assigned to me, because at that time I was working for a Belgium company as a regional or international manager for Asia Pacific and Middle East region. Now, before I met Jerry Barbosa, 1 week before, I prepared my presentation thoroughly. I looked every important point in my presentation and my pitch for convince Jerry to buy my products, because Qatar duty free, Hamad International Airport is the new one. The previous old one in 2011, it was the old airport. And that was one of the key duty free locations that I wanted to penetrate in. I made 1 long hour presentation. Can you remember some of the longest presentation that you made to some of your client customers, whether it's an importer, exporter, supplier, buyer, whoever they are? 1 long hour. In my opinion, that was one of the brilliant presentations that I have made. At the end, I was fully certain that I was confident that Jerry will say, yes, this, I'll buy your product. Please supply me. After 1 hour, I saw Jerry's face like, dead silence. Do you remember last time? When was the last time you offered something to your buyer, customer, client, prospect? You put any name and the customer didn't say what you expected him to say? Jerry was thinking. After a long, about 30-second silence, he said, this very interesting presentation. Wow, amazing, man. Congratulations. Jerry, so I mean, you will buy my product? Well, I would love, but I need 1 more month to think about and get back to you. What? In my mind, I was talking, Jerry, I gave you everything what you want. I gave you the FAB, features, advantages, or benefit of the product. I gave you credit terms that you wanted. I gave you display support, marketing support, promotional support, everything that you wanted. And you still wanted to think about for another 30 days? Imagine I travel from Colombo to Doha, Qatar only for this. I knew this is something very close to no. He's not going to buy. I was thinking about what on earth, what else can I do? Have you ever faced that problem? You gave everything what customer you believe wanted to have and still say no. You didn't get what you wanted. I kept quiet and tried to think about what is going on in Jerry's mind. Another 10-20 minutes slow discussions. Then I found what was bothering in his mind. You know, Jerry was a Filipino who working for Qatar duty free, and he has his KPIs, key performance indicators. One of the KPI was his performance was evaluated on the basis of average stock holding days. Average stock holding days. Now, if a new item was bought, if he bought my items, products, and if it doesn't move for months and months, it will adversely affect Jerry's badu yanne to mage badu giye nattan Jerry's average is going up. That was his pain point. He did not know whether he could, if he buys, whether my product will be sold or will have any demand because it's a new product. This will be the mindset dilemma any new buyer when you are approaching buyer or seller or supplier, whatever the names. It took me a long time to realize that. He is afraid of improving his average stock holding days cost. What happens that? His performance will not be met. His KPIs will be below the target level. His increment will not be there. His promotion will not be there. He has to support his, kith and kins in Manila, Philippines. And all those, sick parents, kids, tuition fees, all those difficult things came into his mind perhaps. When I understood what was bothering his mind, I said, Jerry, let me say, are you worried about your stock holding cost, stock holding average, stock holding days? Is that bother you? Yeah, you got it right. Well, I have a proposal, Jerry. Your challenge is, your dilemma is whether my products will be sold, whether there is a demand for my products. This is my proposal. Can I supply you 5 master cartons of each product? We call it SKU. Each product, FOB, FOC, free of cost. Will that go inside, taken to your stock? No, this anything FOC, we don't put it in the stocks. Jerry, if I give you 5 master cartons, FOC, can you try it on your shelves? And if that sold within 1 month, can you rethink about it? He said, okay, even if it doesn't sold for 2 months, it will not affect my key performance indicator. One call to my head office, Belgium. I convinced my boss to send 5 master cartons of my product, new product, to Qatar duty-free FOC. I remember I was tracking this. I came back to Colombo, Sri Lanka. I was in my office. The product landed on Wednesday. I can track they cleared on Thursday. Friday was in Middle East holiday. Saturday, I called Jerry. Jerry, I can see that you have taken the products. Yeah, we put that in the shelves. We already put that in shelves. Jerry, do me a favor. I promised a lot of things to my boss. Will you please take a couple of photos, my product in the shelves, so my boss knows that at least, those products are in Qatar duty-free selling. Can you take a couple of snaps and send it to me for my reference so I can send it to my boss? I'm covered. Saturday afternoon, Jerry said, sorry, I can't send you the product photograph. I said, Jerry, come on, be courteous. I gave you 5 master cartons of free products. It's about over $1,000 or more than that. And you don't have a courtesy to give me a couple of photographs? No, this is nothing that I don't like. I cannot give you. I said, what do you mean by cannot give you? Sorry, we placed them on Thursday morning. Saturday morning, 24 hours, all the product is gone. It is sold. Customers took it. I don't have your product in the shelves. Jerry, can I have the next order? Sure, I want to do this. We need a lot more. That evening, I got my first order, big quantities. I believe I know what is good for customer. I believe I have been in the trade. I know I can make an amazing presentation. I believe that I am the master of the game. I know how to sell. I know about the product. I am expert. But unless you understand the mindset of your customer, your prospect, your importer, exporter, supplier, whatever the term that you use, the negotiation doesn't end up in win-win successful situation. I want you to think about this aspect, how to understand the mindset of others. In negotiation, we call it empathy. One of the key skills of a great negotiator. This story proved to me why it is important to understand what is going on inside of minds of the other person. Otherwise, your attempt to have reach an agreement with your negotiating counterparts, whether importer, exporter, supplier, provider, service provider, whatever the name, that term that you use, it will not be successful. Is this familiar? Has anyone ever told you, yeah, good presentation, good product, I will let you know. Sounds familiar? I will let you know. I'll talk to my boss and see what his reaction is. In my life, I have product. Now, this is one of the fundamental skills of negotiating. Now, if you want to be a great negotiator, you need to have focus on 4 areas. Before that, no, let us find out what on earth the negotiation is. මොකද්ද මේ negotiation කියන්නේ? සිංහලෙන් ඔකට ප්‍රමන්තන කතිකාව. I tried to find out Sinhala word for that. ප්‍රමන්තන කතිකාව. I thought, okay, well, අපි දන්න familiar වචනේ විමු negotiation. Professor William Ury, who was the co-founder of Harvard Negotiation and Leadership Program, one of the thought leaders in the world, and he's my teacher too. He said, negotiation is about act of influence to reach an agreement. Act of influence. It's act of influence. This word influence is associated with the leaders. It's a very important characteristic of an attribute of a leader. That means when you improve your negotiation skills, you improve your leadership skills, your influential skills. And because leadership is all about influence, if you want to influence someone, learn how to negotiate. Why do you have to negotiate? ඕක නැතුව බැරිදානේ. ඔය වචනෙත් මේ ළඟදී අල්ලගත්තේ අපි. The problem with word negotiation is often when the term comes to your mind, මොකද මතක් වෙන්නේ අපිට? Negotiation between America and China, Joe Biden and Xi Jinping, Trump and Putin, Palestinian and Israeli, Sri Lankan government versus LTTE. But have you ever realized you negotiate a lot more in your personal life? Negotiate with your kids, your parents, your sibling, your wife, your spouse, your partner. Oh, friends. That's the personal negotiation. Mind you, that are much more difficult because it involves emotions, emotion, trust, relationship, values, ethics. It doesn't mean that professional negotiations are without those, but in personal negotiations are much more tough. බොක්කට වදිනවා personal negotiation වල. බොක්කට වදිනවා. When you improve your negotiation skills, your personal life quality also goes up along with your professional. Now, why do we have to negotiate? There's someone called Dr. Chester Karas. Let me give you this. Dr. Chester Karas. Chester Karas. K-A-R-R-A-S-S. He says, in business as in life, you don't get what you deserve, you get what you negotiate. In business as in life, you don't get what you deserve, you get what you negotiate. Attada. You don't get what you deserve, you get what you negotiate. Have you got what you deserve in your life? Have you got the profit, the volume, the promotion, money, recognition, love, care, respect? No, I didn't. I had to negotiate my way throughout my entire career to get it. අර අපේ කතාවක් තියෙනවනේ ඉල්ලුවේ නැත්තම් දෙන්නේ නැහැ. මගේ ලයිෆ් එකේ නම් එහෙමයි. ෆයිට් කරලා ගත්තේ නැත්තම් දෙන්නේ නැහැ. කෝපරේට් ලයිෆ් එකේ හිටපු කට්ටිය දන්නවා. බැංකින් රොෂාන් ෆයිනෑන්ෂල් බෑග්ග්‍රවුන්ඩ් ෂොහාන් ඉඳලා තියෙනවා කෝපරේට් සෙක්ටර් එකේ. probably others are ඉල්ලුවේ නැත්තම් ෆයිට් එකක් දුන්නේ නැත්තම් ගන්න මේ ඉල්ලනවා ෆයිට් එක. What are those terms? You have to negotiate to get what you deserve in life. Everything what I got is about thanks to the negotiation. Now I said there are 4 areas that you need to master if you want to become a good negotiator, because as entrepreneurs, it was found majority of the entrepreneurs, businessmen, let's put it the businessmen, entrepreneurs failed not because of the technology or the product quality or the service quality. They failed in their interaction with the others. They failed their negotiation points. When the negotiation collapses, everything collapses. Your product is beautiful. Your service is amazing. You are brilliant. Technology is up to date. No fault, nothing, no fault can be found. But if at all, if you go back to the known cases in your life, you'll realize they failed not because of the technology, the product or service level. They failed because of lack of negotiation skills. Will you let your life to be collapsed due to lack of any skills that matter? I mean, it's a crime. Your organization is amazing. You have beautiful people with you. And your product quality is delivering more than what the customer expected. But if you fail in negotiation skills, it could collapse and close the entire organization. It has. Majority of the cases are attributed to the lack of negotiation skills. Now, how do we improve? How do we improve negotiation skills? 4 areas that you need to focus. Those 4 areas, I have shared a file. Shohan, can you download that file and see? Let me know whether you can see it. I have shared it to everyone. See whether you can someone confirm? Switch on the microphone and let me know whether you can download that file. In chat box.
I cannot see this the file.
You cannot see it because I have, okay, let me okay, file. Okay, just give me a second. I will, oops. Let me share it. File, your computer. Okay. Let me share the entire file then. That's better. I thought of sharing one slide only, but you have the privilege of sharing it. Okay, this one. This is okay. Open. Can you see it?
Yeah, got it now.
Okay. Everyone, it's distributed to everyone. So you can now there, if you click this and see what is appearing, it's my presentation. It's my presentation. But under the presentation, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 slides. White ones. Let me share this slide with you. So you don't have to waste time on right, got it. Share. Done. Okay. This slide, can someone confirm whether you can see it?
I can see.
Okay, that means everyone can see. Now, if you want to be a great negotiator, you need to focus on 4 areas, just 4 areas. This is a negotiation model I developed over 10 years of academic and the field research. This is why it's called BNG, Boston Negotiation Group Model of Negotiation. In fact, I started gradually developing it in somewhere in 2009, 2008, late 2008, and I almost completed it by 2015. It's copyrighted, and it has 4 areas. The bottom is preparation. There are 2 pillars, skills and tactics and strategy. This is the basis for my 20-minute keynote, 1-hour presentation like this, 2 days advanced negotiation class, or 3 days master class. The difference is how deep, the depth of subject matter that I'm taking my audience. I'm a negotiation skills trainer. Now it's about preparation, skills, tactics, and strategy. 4 areas. If you can master these 4 areas, fine, you become a great negotiator. Well, your team gave me only 1 hour time. I can't even think about talking about this comprehensively. But I don't want to disappoint you. I'm going to give you today some diamonds, gold nuggets. I want to give tips, techniques, and the tools that you can immediately apply tomorrow morning in your office, in your workplace, in your business place, in your negotiation, tomorrow morning. Because negotiation is a dynamic subject. If it is not applicable, it is not practical, useless. Now, these tips that I'm going to share with you next 30 minutes or so are the world-class negotiation strategies that they teach. Some of them are taught at Harvard Negotiation and Leadership Program. Where the world-class negotiations best practices. I'm going to share with you few things which is directly relevant you as an entrepreneur. So tomorrow morning, when you try this and apply, when you get the result, wow, අර නෙල්ලි කෑවා වගේ. වැඩ කළානේ මේක. ෂා මේක try කළා වැඩේ ගියානේ හොඳට ගියානේ. ඊළඟ එක try කර. I just wanted you to celebrate your small successes and see whether it will work. See whether it will work. Now let me, as an entrepreneur, one of the major challenges that you have is you are working on an uncertain environment. Business can be uncertain. There's a risky environment. You take risk where other people are afraid of taking. That is why you are entrepreneur. I know how Shohan works. I know his mindset because we meet each other and I can read his mind, read between lines, read between the pages. And it's stressful. He works on an uncertain environment. Will this work? Will this not work? But he is willing to take the risk and try. This is where the uncertainty comes. When you have uncertainty, there's one answer. Please remember. Prepare. Only way that you could thrive, you could succeed as an entrepreneur, as a businessman is your preparation. If you fail to prepare, you better prepare to fail. Almost 70% of your business success is attributed to preparation. Not 50%. මේ 50ට 50 කේස් එකක් නෙමෙයි මේක. ඊටදී ලොකු කේස් එකක්. More than 50%, almost 70% in my opinion, negotiation success is attributed to the preparation. There's no substitute for preparation. Have you ever gone for a discussion, meeting, talk, forum, whatever it is? Buy, sell, do something with your customers, prospect without preparation and you had your shock of life? remember you felt, ayyo, anagatta, she, මේක දැනගෙන හිටියේ නෑනේ, කෑවා මං. දැන් ඉතින් කරන්න දෙයක් නෑ. විඳෝපන්. That was the feeling. Remember that? That was because of lack of preparation. Very key aspect. I cannot stress any more than this. It's vitally important. If you want to be a great negotiator, prepare yourself. Because you have to prepare before you see your negotiation. අර පැත්තේ පොර එන්න ඉස්සෙල්ලානේ අපි මේක ready වෙන්න ඕන. අනිත් එක්කනව දකින්න ඉස්සෙල්ලා. Don't say it's වෙලා නෑ, දන්නේ නෑ, මට එච්චර ගැඹුරට යන්න හිතුන්නේ නෑ, මට ඒ පැත්ත ගැන මතකයක් ආවේ නෑ, මේ ගැන මට එච්චර කල්පනාවක් තිබුණේ නෑ, ඇතුළට ගියා නම් මට මේක හොයාගන්න තිබුණා නම් මට එච්චර හිතන්න උවමනාවක් තිබුණේ නෑ. Don't leave money on the table. It's a crime. Preparation is hallmark of a great negotiator. So you have to do that. Prepare. What do you prepare? Especially as an entrepreneur, whether you are whether at seed level or startup level, or whether you are midterm. One of the critically important area is how to manage complexity, uncertainty. In preparation, I have one more extra advice. Don't try to do it alone. සාමාන්‍ය entrepreneursලට පොඩි උණක් තියෙනවා. ඒගොල්ලෝ නිකන් Clint Eastwood ලා වගේ. You know Clint Eastwood, the cowboy guy? Let me go out of the screen. Since you have it, you will watch it when you have it. Cowboy වගේ. 2 guns, gauntlet, අර belt එක වටේට bullet දාගෙන, leather hat, leather shoes, denim, cigar on the mouth, smoking, horseback, අස්සයන්ගේ පිටි. තනියම යන්නේ. ඇයි 100ක් ආවත් ගේම දෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඩිෂුම්. Entrepreneurs are like that. කාත් එක්කවත් වැඩිය මේවා බෙදන්න කැමති නෑ. That's the mindset. I was like that. ඔය mindset එකම තියෙනවා sales කට්ටියට. කට්ටිය එක්ක ගිහිල්ලා වැඩි ගේම ගහපුවම ගහන්න අකමැති. ඇයි? ක්‍රෙඩිට් එක ෂෙයා කරන්න එපා. Sales කට්ටියකින් තනියම ගහන්න. මම ගැහුවේ තනියම. Entrepreneurs also like that. Profit එක ෂෙයා කරන්න වෙනවනේ කට්ටියත් එක්ක ගේම දුන්නාම. Some entrepreneurs are willing to lose, fail rather than collaborating with others. Recipe for disaster. I was like that. My weakness was refusing to reach out. මචං මේක දන්නේ නෑනේ පොඩි සපෝට් එකක් දෙන්නකෝ මට කරන්න. මේ මට මේ කස්ටමර් දාන්න බිම්ම දාගන්න හදනවා පැත්තට ගන්නම බෑනේ. මේ ඔයා මේ වගේ කස්ටමර් හැන්ඩල් කරලා මට පොඩි සපෝට් පොඩි දෙන්නකෝ පොඩි උදව්වක් කරන්නකෝ මේ පොඩි ටෙක්නික් එකක් කියන්න මේ කොහොමද මේ වගේ එකක් දාගන්නේ කියලා. අහන්න කැමති නෑ. If that is the mindset, your weakness is refusing to reach with. If you have to go through this difficult process as an entrepreneur, team up with the right people. You'll amaze with the success. You'll amaze with the success. Now, that is preparation. The skills part එකක් තියෙනවා. මේ පැත්තේ skill එක. One of those skills is listening. If you see the skills, lean skill, L-E-A-N. L mean listening, E mean empathy, A mean assertiveness, N mean non-verbal. Then මාත්‍යෝ no, මම මේක දිගට විස්තර කරන්න යන්නේ නැහැ, පැය ගානක වැඩක්. So I will take you one, listening. As an entrepreneur, as a businessman, I thought most important skill is my speaking skill, my presentation skills, my ability to communicate, articulative presentation. I was wrong. The most important skill for an entrepreneur, listening. Listening is not hearing. Hearing is ඇහෙනවා. Listening කියන්නේ ඇහුම්කන් දෙනවා. ඇහෙන්නවයි දෙනවයි දෙකක්. Hearing is passive. Listening is active. Deep listening. Jerry Barbosa, Kata duty free. That was where I made a mistake again. I thought that කවුරු හරි ගන්න නැත්තම් බඩුවක් හා කියන්නේ නැත්තම් හා කියන්නේ නැත්තම් මොකද කරන්නේ? ඕඩර් එකට හා කියන්නේ yes කියන්නේ ඕඩර් එක ප්ලේස් කරන්නේ. තව කතා කරනවා. තව කියනවා. Jabbering, talking, more talking. More you talk, more you mess up. I made that mistake for decades. අවුරුද්දක් දෙකක් නෙමෙයි ඊට වැඩිය ලොකු කාලයක්. Until I realized, keep my mouth shut and listen. When you listen to the other person, you start listening. You start understanding the mindset of the other. You know, why do you have to listen to the other person? One good reason. ඉස්සර negotiation කියලා හිතාවේදී fist fight එක. ඕකේ තියෙන ෆොටෝ එකක්. මෙන්න මේ වගේ. මම ඒක පෙන්නන්න. මෙන්න මේක බලන්න. For entrepreneurs. Okay, this one. දෙවෙනි slide එකේ තියෙන. මෙන්න මේක පේනවද? ශ්‍රහන් මේක පේනවද කියලා මට confirm කරන්න පොඩ්ඩක්.
We can't see your screen.
Okay, now what is wrong with the technology? Okay, let me go through. Okay, here, yeah, share screen, done. Okay, now?
No, okay, it's coming.
Harida?
Okay.
Okay, now this was the negotiation that I thought long time ago. Hand fight එකක් වගේ. Remember the good old days in school? ස්කෝලේ නම් දෙපැත්තෙන් පැන්සල් දෙකක් තියෙනවා තව යාළුවෝ දෙන්නෙක්. මේ පැත්තට නවප එකාගේ අතේ යනෙන්න. That was the fist fight that we had in schools. Lot of people think this is the negotiation. අත අඹරලා තුවක්කුව ඔළුවට තියලා, not physical gun, metaphorically. බිත්තියට හේතු කරලා තල්ලු කරලා අත අඹරලා මුළු බලයම දාලා මගේ පැත්තට full වාසිය ගන්න එක තමයි negotiation. Still some people think like that. This is what we call the distributive negotiation. ඒකට වචනයක් තියෙනවා. We call it distributive. D-I-S-T-R-I-butive. ඉගෙන හරියට නිකන් කේක් එකක් බෙදාවන. කේක් එකේ සයිස් එක කිලෝ 10යි. මගේ ටාස්ක් එක තමයි අර මිනිස්සයව තල්ලු කරලා කකුල් මාට්ටුවක් දාලා වෙට්ටුවක් දාලා කිලෝ 9ක් විතර මගේ පැත්තට කඩා ගන්න එක. පොරට අනිත් එකාට එකයි. That was my objective. This is the objective of this. I will win, you will lose. That was the wrong way of negotiating, but there's a better way. This is called integrative negotiation. Made 10 kilogram maker. Can we make it 25 kilogram? දෙන්න එකතු වෙලා 25ක් කරන්න පුළුවන්ද? Howling. This is what you call expanding the value. When you expand the value, දෙකට බෙදුවත් මහත්යෝ 12.5 එක්කෙනෙකුට දෙකට බෙදුවත්. We believe the value is here. When I send the Google form, ප්‍රශ්නයක් මගෙන් අහලා තිබුණා. අපිට price එක decide කරගන්න බෑ. අපි කොහොමද machinery import කරනවා නම් මේකේ price එක ගේන්නේ? අපිට ඕන level එකට අපි කොහොමද ගන්නෙ? අපි order place කරපුවා, because if you have fixed mind, assume that business or entire negotiation is about price of the machinery, price of the master carton, price of the product. This is what you get. And if you believe මේ negotiation එකේ අර කම්පැනියත් එක්ක කරන negotiation එකේ මේ පුද්ගලයාත් එක්ක කරන negotiation එකේ මට මේ තියෙන value එකට වැඩිය ලොකු දෙයක් ලොකු වපසරියකට යන්න පුළුවන්ද? Can we expand the value base instead of staying at trying to get better bigger half for 10 kilos? Can we make it 25 kilos or even 225 kilos. Can you make it bigger? This is what you call integrative. Integrative. This is a mindset. How do you become integrative? ඕන ප්‍රමාණය මං කඩා ගන්නවා කියන mindset එක integrative කරන්න බෑ. I have to listen to the other person. I have to understand need, wants, interest, mutual interest, common interest of the other person. I need to understand the pain and the pleasure and the problem point of the other person. If I have to understand to the other person, I have to listen. I have to be empathetic, understand the mindset of the other. Until I understand the mindset of Jerry Barbosa, I couldn't finish the deal. How do I understand the mindset of Jerry Barbosa? By being a good listener. This is what it means. Now, these are two things that I shared with you on this. Now, let me give you some of the pain points that you are experiencing as an entrepreneur, because you have shared with me on the Google form that there are problems like this. One thing that I wanted to share is, have you ever negotiated with the emotional partner? In a sentimental case, පොඩ්ඩ බැරි යනකොට full upset යනවා. එක්කෝ නහුතට නගිනවා, එක්කෝ frustrate වෙලා මේක අතාරිනවා ගේම. අනේ බෑනි. ඔයා වෙන කෙනෙක් හොයාගන්න. මට බෑ ඔයත් එක්ක business කරන්න. මේක හරියන වැඩක් නෙමෙයි. Have you ever met people like that? Emotional. I have met a lot of people. Some people are so emotional. හේතුවක් නැතුව ඔළුවට මේ ඔයත් එක්ක business කරන්නට වැඩිය හොඳයිනේ. ඕන එකෙක් ගිහිල්ලා කරගන්නවා හලෝ. පවුදෙනා මෙතන කාලයක් නාස්ති කරනවා. Has anyone ever told you? Many people have told me that. Many have told me that. What happens if you meet someone very powerful coming onto your shoulder? ඔළුව කණ්ඩ හදන පොරක්. හම්බුනොත් මොකද කරන්නේ? I'm pretty sure now you can relate this. නම දාගන්න, නම ලියන්න ඒ වගේ මේ මෑතකදී එහෙම හම්බෙච්ච පොරක්. ඒ ලොකු ලෙවල් එකටම නෙමෙයි එහෙම ඔළුවම කන්නේ සමහර ලාවට it's කියෝගෙන මේ ඔය නම දානකොට wife husband කියලා දාගන්න එපා. ඔය කොල කෑලි අහුනොත් එහෙම ලොකු ප්‍රශ්නයක්. ඒක වෙනම negotiation එකක් අපි වෙන දවසක් කතා කරමු. මේ customers ලාගේ එතනක් තියෙන පොඩි ප්‍රශ්නයක්. පොඩි නෙමෙයි ලොකු ප්‍රශ්න තියෙන තැන තියෙනවා. නමුත් customer කෙනෙක්ගෙන් prospecting. What if someone is attacking you during the negotiation? To make you surrender, apply the pressure on you, what can you do? I have met this condition over many dozen times. Do you want to know what to do if someone නිකන් බැනගෙන ඔළුවට කරේට කකුල තියලා නගින්න හදන කියන්නේ අනවශ්‍ය විදිහට ප්‍රෙෂර් එක දාලා කෑ ගහන ලොකු උස්සඩින් කතා කරලා නිකන් ලොකු සයිස් එක දාලා අපිව සරෙන්ඩර් කරන්න හදන වගේ තිබුණොත් මොකද කරන්නේ? How to handle those fellows? I call them negotiation bullies. BULLIES. Negotiation bully කරනවා. I suggest you two things. කියලා ලියලා තියාගන්න ඒ වගේ පොරක් හම්බුනම මේ දෙක හොඳටම හරියනවා. අද්දුටුයි සත්තයි. ධම්මිකගේ පැණිය වගේ නෙමෙයි බිව්වොත් ලෙඩේ හොඳ වෙනවා. පාවිච්චි කරොත් මේ ක්‍රමයේ negotiation එකේ හරියටම ඒ වගේ බුලි කෙනෙක් negotiation බුලි කෙනෙක් හදාගන්න ඒ කියන්නේ handle කරගන්න පුළුවන්. පළවෙනි එක don't react. If someone ලොකු size එක දාන කෑ ගහගෙන ඉන්නේ they expect you to react. මේ screen එකෙන් අයින් වෙන්න මම දැන් ඒක ඕනේ නැහැ. They expect you to react. Don't react. Blank it. The moment you take the reaction out, you became hulam bassa wage. Hulam bahinawa. Don't react. Amarui. Game amarui. Don't react. Second decker. That's the first step. Second decker. Go to the balcony. ඒ මොකක්ද බැල්කනියක්. ඒක කොහෙන්ද මෙතනට ආවේ? Balcony is not physical balcony, metaphorical balcony. That balcony is a higher state of mind. When you go to balcony, you can see something happening down, but you are away from the disturbance. Now imagine if someone is blackguarding me. This is දම්සලට කිව්වත් වැඩක් නැහැ. හලෝ මේ ආයි එන්නම් එන්න එපා. මේ ආයි බිස්නස් ඉල්ලගෙන එන්න එපා. දන්නවනේ මගේ හැටි අරම ලොකු සයිස් එක දානවා. So I have to go to balcony. අම්මට සිරි අම්බානට නෙලනවනේ තිස්සට. So I am observing my behavior from the higher level of higher mindset. ඒතින් තිස්ස ඕක හිතට ගන්න එපා. ඔයාට නෙමෙයිනේ එක්සිකියුටිව්ට බනින්නේ. ඔයා කම්පැනි රෙප්‍රසන්ටේටිව්ට ඔය බයින්නේ වෙන කම්පැනි එක මැනේජින් ඩිරෙක්ටර් කෙනෙක්. So ඒක බිස්නස් රිලේටඩ්. ඕක පපුවට දාගෙන ඕක හිත නරක කරගන්න ඔය බැනකුදින් බ්ලැන්ක් ෆේස් එකක් දාගෙන ඉන්න. ඕක පර්සනලි ගන්න එපා පුතා. I am talking to myself. You know what happens? හරි දේ හරි පියවර ගන්න ඔළුවට එනවා. What happens if you take it to personally ඇතුළට බොක්කට ඇතුළට දාගත්තොත් අනේ මේ යනවා තම්සගේ බිස්නස් තුනට මට ඕන දෙයක් තියෙනවා කරගන්න කියලා අරුටත් දමල ගහලා කස්ටමර් නැති කරගෙන life long value of the customer is dropped, relationship is broken and you lost a lot of value. Often බොහෝ විට එහෙම හද්ද දාගෙන එන අය බිම දාගන්න හරි ලේසි. I have classic example. One of the managing director of the tea exporting company in Colombo 14. ආන්න එපා කොහෙද කියලා නම කියන්නත් එපා. And the managing director later became a very senior post in a leading bank. Market එකේ දන්නේ bulldozer කියලා පොරව. My boss told me, Tissa, you handle this customer. I told boss me අර මගේ යාළුවා මගේ colleagues sales team එකේ එයාගේ customer නේද? නෑ ඒගොල්ලෝ handle කරන්නේ නෑ. දැන් මං කිව්වා ඒගොල්ලන්ට handle කරන්න 6 මාසෙට කවුරු visit කරලා නෑ. You handle it. එතනට ගියාට පස්සේ දන්නේ ඇයි මගේ යාළුවෝ ටික මගේ teammatesලා ඒක handle කරන්න අකමැති කියලා. Because nobody wants to go in front of a bulldozer. Two things. When you meet a negotiation bully, believe me, you will meet it. Someone like that. In different scale, right? Don't react. Go to the balcony. Then you are emotionally balanced. You exactly have a grasp of what is happening around, what is happening below. Ar yuda pitiye neme oya inne ඊට උඩින් ඉන්නේ. And that is one way to handle. The next one, I want one thing that you will daily face. මේ Google form එකේ දාලා තිබුණා. This is what you call when you meet a buyer, customer, procurement person, importer, exporter, who should give you the first? Who should place the first price? Who should say? Who should mark the first price? කවුද ඉස්සෙල්ලාම ලංසුව තියන්න ඕන? Have you ever had that problem? මම ගාන කියනවාද පොරට කියන්න ඉඩ දෙනවද? Have you ever been there? Of course, we all have been there. How do you decide? Okay na me අර ඔයා ගාන කියන්නකෝ නෑ ඔයා කියන්න ඔයාට කීයක් වටනවද කියලා කියනවා ඔයාගේ ඔෆර් එක දෙන්නකෝ නෑ ඔෆර් එක මගේ ඔෆර් එක නෙමෙයි බාඩ්‍ය ඔයාගෙන ඔයා කියන්නකෝ ඔයා විකුණන්න කැමති ගාන. Have you ever had that discussion? How do you decide who should go first? There are different school of thoughts. Let me give you few things that what I use generally. This is my way of doing it. Worked for me. I have been successful using this, but I'll share with you. If you wish, you can use that. One who has the most and deepest and widest knowledge about the subject, interest, subject, industry, product or service, වැඩිම දැනුමක් මේ ගැන වැඩිම දැනුමක් තියෙන කෙනා ඉස්සර වුණාට ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. Assume you wanted to buy a land එකක් ගන්න ඕන. land එකක් ගන්න ඕන. ඔයා ගියා ඉඩමක් බැලුවා බලලා දැන් price එක කවුරු හරි කියන්නේ බෑ. අරයා කියන්න ඕනේ කොහොම කියන්න ඕන. කවුරු හරි කිව්වොත් නෑ ඔයා කියන්න ඔයාට වටන ගාන. නෑ ඔයාගෙන ඉඩම ඔයා කියන්නකෝ ඔයාට වටන ගාන. if that discussion happens, if you believe me property market එක දන්නවා රොෂාන්ට නම් මේක රිලේට් කරන්න පුළුවන් ඇත property market එක දන්නවා මේකේ building එකක් තියෙනවනේ ඒකේ structure එකේ ඒක valuation එක දැල්පු ගමන් කියන්න බනේ ඇහි මානෙට ගේම මොකක්ද කියලා කියන්න පුළුවන් area එක දන්නවා එහා පැත්තේ property එක ගිහිලා තියෙන කීයටද මෙහා පැත්තේ එක මොකටද ඊළඟට highway එක වැටෙනාම මේක දැන් කුරුණෑගල බීරිගම highway එකක් තියෙනවා ඒක වැටෙනාම මේක value එක උඩයයිද යටයයිද මොකක්ද ගේම කියලා වැඩි දැනුමක් ඔබට තිබේ නම් your price offer is based on lot of known factors, expert knowledge that you have. Go first. Go first. If you believe the other person has a better understanding or knowledge of this, tamata වැඩිය ඔබට වැඩිය ඒ ගැන දැනුමක් තියෙනවා නම් let him to go first. එයාගේ වැඩි නම් අපිට ඕන වෙලාවක අපිට කියන්න පුළුවන් අපි තමයි අපි ගණ්ඩ හදන අපි බය කියලා එයා සෙල කියලා එයාගේ වැඩි නම් අයියෝ වැඩි මම හිතන් හිටියේ ඊට වැඩි ගොඩක් අඩුයි you can always counter if you are selling එයා අඩුව කිව්වොත් නෑ නෑ අපෝ ඒ ගානට වෙන්නේ මම විකුණන්න ඉන්නේ මේ ගානට you can always counter but if that person has a better knowledge let him to give the first අර පළවෙනි ලන්සුව තියන්න ඉඩ දෙන්න කියන්නේ so it's based on your value judgment it's based on your value judgment and that way hita end on if you believe you are much more better informed do that but when you do the pricing this is what you call anchoring this is what you call anchoring anchoring in negotiation million එකට විකුණන්න තියෙන බාණ්ඩේ මහත්තයෝ no million 5ක් නම් කියන්න එපා there are exceptions පහක් කියලා අන්තිමට හැගල් කරලා මිලියන එකකට දුන්නාම දන්නවා මුල වෙලාවේ මාව ගසා ගන්න හැදුවේ මිලියනේ වටිනාකම තියෙන එකට මේක මගෙන් 5ක් ගන්න හැදුවේ මූත් එක්ක ආයි නම් බිස්නස් කරන්න බෑ I mean that must be I mean that you lose the credibility you lose the trust in long term business game which is very important million re විකුණන්න million එක කියන්නත් එපා because if you sell it at million for million you offer million and you sold at million there's no winner feeling for the other person million එක විකුණන්න තියෙන එක ලක්ෂ 8යි කියලා දෙකක් නම් උඩ මුලින් 8ක් කියලා දෙකක් උඩට උස්සන්න නම් බෑ ඒක නම් හැමෝම දන්නවා ඒ වැඩේ නම් කරෙන්නේ නැහැ now what is the level generally කීයක් කියන්නද මිලියන විකුණන්න තියෙනකොට මම කීයක් first offer එක දෙන්නද different industries different way if you ask Roshan for his instruments he's an investment banker he will say his industry has a different but in general what we advise in best practices is 20 to 30% extra or even 50% extra is okay 1 million වලට විකුණන්න තියාගෙන ඉන්න එක 1.5 maximum කිව්වට කමන්නේ හැබැයි 3 කියලා එකට දුන්න ගමන් දන්නවා අපි ගොන්නු කියලා මාව අන්දලා ගේම ගහන්න හැදුවේ මේ මිනිස්සයා එක්ක මීට පස්සේ බිස්නස් කරනකොට පොඩ්ඩක් පරිස්සමෙන් හිත කරන්න ඕන see that you have lost the long term trust එකා මාරට කියලා එකට දුන්නත් මිනිහාව මාර ගේමක් ගාලා මං සෑහෙන වේට 50ක් 40ක් අඩු කරගත්තා that's the winner feeling මිලියන 3ක් 4ක් කියලා මිලියන එකට ගත්තාම it's not a winner feeling it's like defeated cheated feeling පුදුමනේ බලන්නකො මං හොඳ වෙලාවට මාර ගේමක් ගැහුවේ නැත්තම් මේක මගේ ඇගේ ගහන්න හැදුවේ මේ මිලියන වටිනාකම එක මිලියන 4කට 5කරනේ I mean that you lose the customer forever and that customer will tell that අරයත් එක්ක business කරන්න එපා පරිස්සමෙන් ඉල්ලනවා නම් පුදුම විදියට අඩුවට ඉල්ලන්න හේන මගෝඩියෙක් that must be the wordings around and you may succeed time to time but in long term nobody wants to do business with you I mean this is something that you face often how to price it one more thing that I wanted to tell you as an entrepreneur there's a very profound statement people would love to do business with people whom they could trust. People would love to negotiate. People would love to do business. People would love to buy things from people whom they could trust. Trust is one of the key aspects for entrepreneur. Whether you are a IT tech entrepreneur, or whether you are a startup, or whether you are an established player, it doesn't matter. The moment your trust is lost, business game is over. How do you improve trust? Now, if you, those who are in LinkedIn, I believe, go to my LinkedIn profile, all those listening skills, how to make proper eye contact, empathy, and especially trust. I have written a lot of articles. Stay connected with me, and you just type Tissa Disanayake and send me the request, and then read those articles. And there I explain, there are two types of trust: personal trust and professional trust. There are two types of trust. This is very important for entrepreneur. I call it, I put a PET for personal trust, PRT for professional trust. You know this already. Your customer will have to trust you first before they trust your product. Personal trust comes first before trust their product. How to, Shohan, can you, is there any disturbance on the screen?
Yeah, there is. We can, it's not clear.
Okay, let me. All right, okay.
Right.
Right. Right. First, improve your personal trust. Unless your customer, your buyer, have you ever thought why your product is beautiful, your service is amazing, you have the technology, your app is working perfect. It's brilliant. It does what it's supposed to do. And everything is superior, but still customer don't want to buy. Nothing to do with the pricing. They don't personally trust. In team negotiation, sometimes it happens, they don't like some specific people. Even I advise in team negotiation, there's a some area, specific area called negotiation supporting unit, NSU. I advise to remove that person. This happened LTT, Sri Lankan government negotiation. They say we cannot negotiate with this person. It has to be removed for the greater good of the overall objectives. Personal trust, professional trust. But ayyo make a loku inyane, loku subject yane dawas gana kata gana ehema nemei. Can we have something right now that we can remember so we could earn the trust when tomorrow morning when we do business with someone, my customer, my importer? Do you want to know few simple steps that you could improve the professional trust? Write this down. This is very important. First one, how to improve the trust with your negotiating counterpartner. Smile. Wow. Kiyanda dead dani. Common sense, ne? My friends, common sense is often not so common. Smile will earn the trust. Number two, listen. Deep listening. Hearing him, passive hearing him, deep listening. Engaging with that person. Listen, that they will earn the trust. Friendly body language. Friendly body language. For instance, if I keep on doing like this, I can do that. No, this is threatening. This is intimidating. Pointing finger is not good in negotiation. So we use open palm gestures. Can you understand that? Can you understand that? Can you understand that? Pointing your finger and open palm gesture, friendly body language. And sharing simple info. Simple info. පොඩි පොඩි තොරතුරු තමාගේ ස්ට්‍රැටජික් ඔබ්ජෙක්ටිව් එකට බාධාවක් නොවන ලොකු හානියක් නොවන සිම්පල් තොරතුරු ෂෙයා කරන්න. So you earn the trust. You earn the trust. Sharing, don't share powerful info. ඒකෙන් තමාටම දමල ගන්න ඒවා ෂෙයා කරන්න එපා. But simple info, it must be relevant and useful. I mean, these are low hanging fruits. And one more important thing, last one is the most one, make proper eye contacts. Eye contacts. මේකට තනිකරම ආටිකල් එකක් තියෙනවා in my LinkedIn profile. Are you a red-eyed negotiator? R.E.D. Red-eyed, it's an acronym. And how to make a proper eye contact when you negotiate. When you smile, when you listen, when you use the friendly body language and share some information, and while talking, negotiating with the other person, when you make the proper eye contacts. Those 5 steps will earn you a lot of trust when you meet someone first time or even the repeated time. And the trusting is a bigger subject, but I don't want to explain it anything deeper. Now, during last 45 minutes, I took you through a journey of what is negotiation, why it is important, especially for entrepreneurs, and what are the 4 areas that you need to improve if you want to become a great negotiator: preparation, skills, tactics, and strategy. And from those, I pick quick, very important, nuggets, the tips, techniques, and the tools. And I shared with you that could be applied tomorrow morning, right? Next. And you could test the result and feel happy because you could get the result, positive result immediately. If you need more, and there are a lot of materials available in my, let me share this in my YouTube. And also, right, in my YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook, especially LinkedIn and YouTube. And this is the links. It's in your handout. Anyway, I only wanted to share the model part, Boston Negotiation Group model, but it's in your handout. And you can read those additional materials. Now, since we have gone, I can keep on talking for days and days, but let's go into let me hand over back to the moderator. So if there are any questions, clarifications that you want to focus attention on specific points, and let's discuss, because those will be equally important for the rest. Back to you, Madam Moderator.
Hello, thank you very much for this lovely presentation, and you took us through the journey of being an entrepreneur and negotiating, how you negotiate with the businesses and your customers. So being the moderator, I will take the privilege and ask you the first question. So
Right.
This will be very common for all the members in the EL and also the guests who have joined. So in EL and who has joined with us right now, maybe startups, MSMEs, SMEs. So we provide services, either products or services or solutions to corporates and to the government as well. So you touched about being providing onto the corporate sector. So basically, I come into providing services to the government, mostly on the government section. So there are so many situations where coming in with negotiating with the government and stuff. So what is your suggestion and what is your idea on that?
Sorry, government.
Yes, government.
Let me be upfront about it. the negotiating with government sector has been significantly improved. Significantly improved. I have seen the transformation of government sector. If you ask this, had you asked these questions 10, 15 years ago, my answer would have been a completely different one. Today, I can with the confidence say that government sector has improved by leaps and bounds. It's a significant improvement. And sometimes those, we call it bureaucrats, those high-ranking government officials are fast-thinking and they have the in-depth of understanding of the subject, and they think like businessmen. They understand. It's relatively easier, and you have one-to-one. At times, you have these odd characters now, once in certain places, that you still have the compartmentalized silos mindset. And they read FR and what that financial regulation and all those government regulation, and they say point blank, say, no, this cannot be done, this can be done. Shohan, you can negotiate with anyone, whether he is flexible or inflexible. There's something called, write this down if you have to. Focus on the negotiator first before you focused on the result, outcome. Write this down if you want. Focused on the negotiator first before you focused on the outcome. Assume you go to Nagara Sabha. Shohan, let's take an example. You go to local government authorities. And most of the time, they have their way of thinking, stereotyping way of thinking. Still, you can get it done. If you go to get things done, that will be a difficult task. Because you are going to get the approval. You are going to get the yes. You are going to make the profit. You are going to get this technical approval or yes from the, say, government authority or local government authority or government authority. Okay, it's okay to make profit. It's okay to focus on the result. But first focus on that person. If your first point of focus is about your negotiating counterparts, about the mayor, about the deputy mayor, about the opposition member, and if you focus on him first, then about the approval, saying getting yes, and you have better chance of getting your things done. In my handout, if you go through, at the strategy level, it say H before H. John, you asked amazing question. H before H. ඔය handout එකේ බලන්න. H before H කියන්නේ දැන් ලියා ගන්න human before harvest. John, the answer to your question. This is why this model is the comprehensive one. Human before harvest. Before misak human instead of harvest නෙමෙයි. I want you to focus on the approval. I want you to focus on the revenue. I want you to focus on the price. I want you to focus on the profitability. But the focus on the negotiating counterpart first, because profit is the human in agreement. If that person don't say yes, there's no business. There's no agreement. So first point of focus is to manage that person. අපි ගවර්න්මන්ට් එකට යන්නේ වැඩේ කරගන්නනේ නැද්ද? වැඩේ කරුණ නැත්නම් දෙනවා අම්බාකට ගහනවා සෝෂල් මීඩියාවල. අපි ගවර්න්මන්ට් ඔෆිස් එකට යන්නේ ඒ පුද්ගලයා ගියාම ඒ පුද්ගලයා ගැන තේරුම් අරගෙන ඒ පුද්ගලයා through මේක කරගන්න බැලුවොත් ඒකෙන් කියන්නේ මේ කොටුව පයින්න ඕන කියලා. අපේ ethical framework එකෙන් එළියට යන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. Within that ethical framework, if you focus, if you are, Shohan, negotiators are human first. Whether it's the minister, MP, mayor, secretary, chairman of a corporation, whatever the negotiation institution, a chief clerk. They are human first. If you focus there, human before harvest, harvest is outcome. Things will be much easier.
Thank you very much. I have one more question before going on to the audience. So the art of negotiation comes from the professional network and into your personal network. So you touched on your personal environment, the negotiations. So how should we handle, how should we negotiate in a professional network when there's an emotional situation?
Yeah, very relevant and very common question. Emotions will run high. Do you believe that professional emotions are much more stronger than the personal emotions? Honestly, in personal negotiation, emotions are very high. Imagine if wife said something, if you එක වචනයක් මිස් කරන්න ෂාන් ගෙදර ගිහිල්ලා සුමානයකට බත් කාලා ඉවරයිනේ. එක වචනයක් ස්ලිප් කරලා බලන්න. වැඩේ කොච්චර කාලයක් යනවද මේක ගොඩ දාගන්න. Emotions are very high there. Of course, professionally also that emotion part is there. This is why I said, Joan, in professional life, when the emotions are running high, first part, I gave you two things, like negotiating bullies, don't react, go to the balcony. That's equally applicable for emotion. Second part is, you cannot take emotions out. Joan, emotions are by nature negative. There are four main categories of emotions. Four category. 75% of them are in negative. Now, if you take English language, there are about 3,000 plus words that describe every little emotion. Almost 3,000 of them are connected to the negativity. Emotions are sad, mad, glad, and scared. Those are the four categories, broad category. Sad, mad, glad, and scared. The Hamdurani glad de Karen Nani Tunama negative. Glad, mad, sad, and scared. Glad de Karen Hatarin Turan negative. You got to understand, emotions are part of your life. It deals with the limbic system, which is autonomic in our brain. Our brain has three major areas. Neocortex, the front, the advanced part of it. Limbic system, middle brain. We call it a mammalian brain, and instinctive brain. And that goes with the Susumnavat ekame komawage pallehata yanne. It's instinctive, but the oldest part of the brain. Oldest part and the mammalian, the limbic system are almost autonomic. So emotions interpret and handle that autonomic part. ඒ කියන්නේ අම්බානට නගින කේන්ති යනකොට අපි දන්නේ නැහැ අපිට කේන්ති කියලා. අපි දන්නේ අපේ emotions. It's one way to do is aware of yourself. ඕක ලස්සන්ට ආගම වල හැම ආගමකම කියන තමා ගැන ස්වයං අවධානය තමයි මූලිකම. මට කේන්ති මේ පොඩ්ඩ වැරදුනා මට කේන්ති තියෙනවා මම ඒක දැනගන්නවා. තමා ගැන ඉස්සෙල්ලාම රිෆ්ලෙක්ෂන් එකක් ගන්න. And then if someone emotion එක එන්නේ අනිත් පැත්තෙන් ගහනකොට වචනයක් මිස් වුණොත් දෙන්න බෑ. වා ඕන තැනකින් ගන්න. either my way or highway. මාත් එක්ක බිස්නස් කරනවා නම් පුතා මං කියන විදිහට වැඩේ කරන්න ඕන. ඔයා මේ අනිත් කම්පැනි වල දාන පාට මට දාන්න දෙන්න එපා. either my way or highway. කැමති නම් ගන්න නැත්තම් යන්න. මට ඕන තරම් කස්ටමර්ස් ලා ඉන්න බිස්නස් කරන්න. ආයි පව් දෙන්න එපා කරදර කරන්න එපා. Has anyone ever told you that? People have told me that. How do you manage it? These are the things that happens. Emotions run high. Business නැත job එක දාලා ගියා මුගේ කන රත් වෙන්න දෙකක් කියලා ගෙදර යන්නේ. That must be the instinctive feeling. ඒක මෙහෙම සවුත් වෙන්න පුළුවන්ද? Is it familiar? This instinctive feeling coming because of that. Hold on. Don't react. Because other person wanted you to react. Go to the balcony. Balcony ගියාම බලන්නකෝ ඔයාට අර පනුස්සයා අම්බානට නෙලනවා බනිනවා පේනවා ලස්සන්ට සමහරවට හිනාත් යනවා ඔහොම බැන්නට මම අප්සෙට් ගායි මාව කොහෙද ඔහොම පෙරලන්නේ that if you can come to that mindset wow you can handle any emotion that's a very important and relevant subject especially as an entrepreneur because entrepreneurs are risk takers and they don't want anyone to challenge your risk taking ability try this not to react and go to the balcony and try it and see tomorrow ගෙදර උන්දට හරි මහත්තයාට හරි නෝනට හරි ළමයිට හරි ඔෆිස් එකේ හරි කස්ටමර් එක්ක හරි ස්ටාෆ් එක්ක හරි පොඩ්ඩක් try කරලා බලන්න and let me know. Shohan, next.
Okay, thank you, Tissa. Thank you very much. Before opening for the audience questions, there are a few questions in the chat box. I will read out to you.
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes males can be challenging when a female tries to negotiate with them. This can sometimes be because males do not like women to be in power or women to perform better than them. What advice could you provide to best handle this situation?
Bad news, guys. Bad news. Sorry, I'm being very upfront. The women's are much more better negotiators. It's physiology, psychology. We cannot beat that. It's evolutionary. Ladies are much more better negotiators. අපි හිතනවා නිකන් අපි එන වැද්දෝ කියලා. Sorry. To my deep understanding, ladies are better negotiators. Why? You know why? They are better listeners. They have amazing better empathy. Empathy is built into mother. පොඩි එකා අඬනකොට කූඹියා කාලාද කිරි වලටද කිරි ඉල්ලලාද අනන්නේ කියන හැඟීම අම්මට තියෙනවා. අම්මලා දන්නවා. පොඩි එකෙක් අඬනකොට කාමරේ ඇතුලේ ඉඳලා කූඹියා කන ඇඬිල්ලද බඩගින්නට කිරි ඉල්ලලා අඬනද කියන තරමට සෙන්සිටිවිටි එක තියෙනවා අම්මට. අපිට නෑ අනේ. අපි බොහොම පල්ලෙහෙන්. Let's accept the fact they are much more better because they are physically, mentally, psychologically equipped. That's the mother's, the beauty of the nature given to ladies. This is the human survival. අපි hunters ලානේ. අපිට තියෙන්නේ ගිහිල්ලා මරලා මුව මරලා මීපැණි ගෙනල්ලා කදේ දාගෙන ගෙනල්ලා දෙන්න. Ladies have they have the multi vision. මෙතන අම්මා ඉන්නකොට ලිපේ ගින්දරට ගර දානකොට ළමයා පිහි අතට ගන්නවද කියලා පිටිපස්සට පේනවා. පිටිපස්සට. පස්සට ඇස් තියනවද අම්මලට? නැහනේ. තාත්තලට ඕක නැහැ. When mother is අපි මේක evolution ගල් ගුහාව ඇතුලේ අවුරුදු 20000කට ඉස්සෙල්ලේකට අම්මට පේන්න ඕන ලංක ගොඩාක් වෙන දේවල් මේ ළමයා මොකද කරන්නේ අර කොල්ල මේ පැත්තේ කරන්නේ මේ පැත්තෙන් ණයෙක් එනවද මේ පැත්තෙන් වලහැක් එනවද මේ පැත්තෙන් පොළගෙක් එනවද මේ පැත්තෙන් තව මොනවද වෙන්නේ ඒ ඔක්කොම වටේට පේනවා අපි narrow focus long distance අපිට තියෙන 3D distance එකක් spatial skill එක වෙඩි තියන්න හරි දුන්නෙන් හරි අපිට තියෙන ඈත focus කරලා ගහන්න පුළුවන් නැත්තම් අපි බඩගින්නේනේ මොකට විද්ද නැත්තම් හරියට අපි බඩගින්නේනේ so it's a survival for us survival for ladies unfortunately those who want to believe that men are superior well one thing men you can do you can learn negotiation skill match them ඒක පුළුවන් ඒක ඕන කෙනෙකුට පුළුවන් but by nature the ladies are ahead. But if you learn the negotiation skills, you can match them. Don't worry. When you meet a lady who is outsmarting you, think that it's their natural instinct and they are built for that. Nothing wrong with you. You know, if there's anything wrong with you, if you have anything to do with that, learn how to negotiate. That way you can match. I wish I could give you the answer that you are expecting, but unfortunately, this is my truth.
Okay, thank you, Tissa. And there's one person has requested, he's asking, I think if time permits at the end, if you can share your experience, he's asking, Tissa, please tell us how did you handle that bulldozer? So we will go for, at the end, if you have time, you can share your experience. This is talking about, I think, your customer on Colombo 14 who were you talking about. So the next question is, one person is endorsing this. Mr. Tissa, 100% agree with, because I experienced it with all my startup business. At times, my customers are willing to pay a higher price for my products because they believe what I give them. So, okay. The next question is, Tissa, how do we apply PT on running an online store business?
Sorry, how do we?
How do we apply PT on running an online store business?
I couldn't hear some word. How do we apply what?
PT. You were talking about professional trust, right? Professional and personal trust.
Right. Okay. PET or PRT? Which one? Can someone tell me that? How do you apply?
PET.
Personal trust.
Yes, because if I go to a new customer, that
Yeah.
person doesn't know me well. So this is online. So how do I apply it to a genuinely new customer?
Yeah, great. Amazing. And this is a very common question. Let me share with you my school of thinking. One another person can differ. Online business is, we believe, you are being convinced to believe by a lot of other experts that online ayyo wadanne moona danna onne moonat adu onne relationship onne trust එක onne product එක තිබුණාද price එක තිබුණාද ගත්තා. Trust එක තිබුණාද ගත්තා. Personal trust. Let me give one more thing. I don't want to, in early 2020, one of the leading online retail shops in Sri Lanka. Let's avoid naming it. I can name it. Today I had a session in the afternoon. That forum is very limited, so I named that. They sold Bombay Lunui, Samanui at exorbitantly high price. Shwan, what
Yes.
right? Exorbitantly. This CEO is very famous. Synonymous with Sri Lankan online business කිව්වොත් මේක තමයි නම. What happened? Samantin එක 500 600 ගානයි Bombay Loon මේකයි. How he handled, communicated. This is CEO communicated. This is crisis communication. Nothing to do with the product, online product. It's beautiful platform. Pioneer in Sri Lanka. But when a founder, CEO, you as an entrepreneur lost the credibility, personal trust, it collapsed. I believe there's a lot of bleeding, although they don't talk about, they don't show it. And now he's trying so hard to get the lost trust. Lost trust. Mark Zuckerberg in 2018, Oxford, what's that case? Leaking information to Trump's campaign. When CNN published, the founder, the entrepreneur was silent for 3 days, 72 hours. He thought, make a game atarla dai, mamma nikan oka katadala south wind on. He lost 37 billion stock worth of value. 37 billion. Mark Zuckerberg lost. Cambridge Analytica case. So personal trust, whether you are online, I have nothing to do with the Mark Zuckerberg in Facebook. I mean, mama panela magi content එක දානවා. එයා හිටියත් එකයි නැතත් එකයි. But some people went away from Facebook. And government punished him. ගෙනල්ලා පොඩි ළමයෙක් පූස් පැටියෙක් තලනවා වගේ තැළුවේ. Mark Zuckerberg. So personal trust is important online. It may not be, I see your point, it may not be immediately visible. Personal trust is very important in online, perhaps more than the offline. Offline, කවුරු හරි අකමැති නම් මේ කඩේ මුදලාලිට unsatisfied customer tell 11 people. Satisfied customer only tell 2 people. අපේ කඩේ මුදලාලි බඩු විකුණනවා හරි නැත්තම් 11 ඇගිලින්ටයි මැගිලින්ටයි ලිසිනින්ටයි ඔක්කොටම 11 දෙනෙකුට ගියාගෙන යනවා. Unsatisfied customer. Satisfied නම් only දෙන්නෙකුට කියන්නේ. But if it is online, within a minute they can announce to the world. So personal trust, in my opinion, is very relevant for online. If you mess up once, it can be serious, fatal for your business. Walk the talk. Do what you want to do, what you say that you do, and that's the personal trust. It may not come as the same way. You can't smile, but you can bring smile to your customers. You can definitely listen the way you respond and interact with your whatever the technical platform. Friendly body language. You don't have to have the friendly body language. Have the friendly net language. You know, by net language, sharing simple info, of course, this is possible. Making a proper eye contact, not physical eye contact. Make eye to eye, understand to understand. All this can be done online. Equally applicable. And remember, don't discount it. It will be fatal. Underestimating online personal trust in online business will be fatal if that happens, especially with the founder or the originator or you as an entrepreneur. You have a responsibility to maintain the trust for all your customers, whether it's offline or online.
Thank you, Tissa. There's one more question in the chat. How do we negotiate in order to find a good partner for our business?
This is the challenge for the budding entrepreneur, whether it's at the seed level or startup middle level, or whether you have a little bit of established platform in the business. I have one advice. Technical competency you can buy. Integrity, loyalty, and the trust you can't buy. You find a partner who has integrity, established integrity, or in your opinion, who will maintain the integrity, trust, and the loyalty. Connect with that. That partner may not be the ideal technical man. For that, you can purchase the technology. This is where, when you have the capital structure of any startup, you have the portion for funding agencies, whether it's a angel investor or whether it's a venture capitalist. You have certain percentage, let's say 30% for that. And as a founder or a couple of founders, you have this. And you also have another, what you call unallocated shares to attract the technical experts. These are in the pie chart, they are the unallocated. අපි 120ක් තියලා තියමු අපිට කවුරු හරි හොඳ පොරක් ආවොත් එයාව මේකේ තියාගන්න අපිට ගන්න පහ දෙමු. එතකොට අපිට 5 දෙනෙක් අපිට මේකට ගන්න පුළුවන්. Right? And those are the very important points. The direction of your organization will depend on how cohesive your team is. Mind you, technology, complexity, and the technical, that intricacy is the simplest challenge that you can solve easily. But if you have a problem with the team, could be the end of it. Find a partner who can trust and has integrity and the right attitude. Rest is simple. That's the part of the negotiation, and I don't have a formula. You know how to find. පොඩ්ඩ එහාට මෙහාට වෙනකොට මේ අල්ලන්න නැති පොරක් නම් ටක් ගාලා ඔයාලට තේරෙනවා. You know exactly whether you can gel with that. But don't, just because he's technically competent, he has money, he has reputation. අසාධයක් බඳිනා වගේ තමයි මාත්‍යෝ. හරි පාර්ට්නර් ගත්තොත් ගොඩ නැත්තම් අනිත්‍යවත සංකාර. දෙපැත්තටම ඔක දෙපැත්තට.
Thank you very much, Tisha. So I will allow everyone to unmute themselves. So we will allow 5 minutes for your questions. If anyone has any question, you can unmute yourself and ask. It's open for you all.
Tisha, Jeevan here. Thank you for your time and the value that you shared. Actually, being an entrepreneur, I have truly gone through your practical situations. So actually, with maturity and experience and exposure, I think people slowly get arranged for the situation that what you say. And I really agree with what you have presented today, and it's real experience. Thank you very much, Tisha. Thank you,
My
EL
pleasure,
team, for the time.
Any other questions?
I like the Indunil's response about the integrity. Yeah. Finding partner on the integrity is very important, Indunil. And you are right on the spot.
Thank you very much, Mr. Singh. Yeah, that is one of the key area I was looking at, the integrity. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Okay, there's one question.
One more thing, Shohan, for the entrepreneurs, the members of the Entrepreneur Sri Lanka, I have a promise. Shohan, I always do that. This is my promise because I know Roshan and Shohan and a couple of other people and very close to my life also. We are friends, helping each other. I have one promise for your membership. In case if you find any difficult negotiation, if you need my input for critical negotiations, specific negotiation, whether it's to acquire the capital or whether it is acquire the technology, whether you are merging with some company, whether it's a takeover in your journey to become a unicorn one day, you know, and whether you need my input as a the expert negotiator, I'm there. You have my telephone numbers. Shohan and the Roshan both have my telephone numbers, email address. I have published it in my handout. Just give me a call and say that you are from Entrepreneur Sri Lanka. This is my promise. I will do it for you without any financial involvement. That's the promise to this team, amazing team.
Thank you very much. This is, since there's no other question, just one question who has sent me directly. This would be the last question for the session. How do we negotiate with a person who is more experienced and a better negotiator than myself?
Wow. I wish this question came first. Remember, power in negotiation is not about the resources. Negotiate because they have bigger resources. How do you ever negotiate with Bill Gates, Warren Buffett? Because they have bigger resources. Power in negotiation is your resourcefulness. Whom to talk, what to talk, where to find, all those information. If you have, you are powerful. Now, if the other person is more competent in negotiation, mind you, contrary to your belief, it becomes easier. It becomes easier. But the challenge will, end result will be good for you and great for him. Ekanam sure. Did you understand that? When you are negotiating with the very good negotiator, end result, it will be win-win. Negotiator will never let you down, push you down, apply the pressure. He will let you to win. The end result, outcome will be good for you and great for him. The method it must be great for you, good for him. How do you do that? Follow the model. Preparation is the key. It doesn't matter how big, how skilled that other negotiator is. If you prepare, You can surprise him. That ඒක බෑ කියන්න බෑනේ. ඒකට වෙලාව මදි, resources මදි, දන්නේ. Because you prepare before that person negotiate with you. Spend, if your negotiation for 1 hour, spend 1 month for preparation. You will see how much of power you have when you negotiate with them. And remember, when the other person is a good negotiator, it becomes easier. Good negotiators never run away with short-term gains. Good negotiators always look for a long-term, and it will be easier for you. But if you want to match 1-to-1, only way is to improve your negotiation skills and make you spend more time on preparation. That's the only way. Good question. I love that question.
Okay, thank you very much. So, if this can stay after the formalities, if you have any questions, you can ask. So, to wrap up the session, I would like to call our Joint Secretary, Themiya Gamini Tilaka, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Thank you very much, Johan. Hi, I'm Themiya Gamini Tilaka, Joint Secretary of Entrepreneurs Lanka. First and foremost, I would like to thank our keynote speaker, Mr. Tissa Disanayake, to accepting our invitation on such a short notice. It was indeed a very important and interesting topic for us entrepreneurs, especially in these challenging times. Also, I would like to thank our guests and members for joining our session on the art of negotiation, secret sauce to success for entrepreneurs. And last but not least, I would like to thank our EXCO team and our advisor for organizing this event. Thank you, everybody, and stay safe.
Thank you very much, Tissa, on behalf of Entrepreneurs Lanka again, for accepting my invitation. Hope to, we would like to and would hope to have a brief session on this in the near future. So if you have time to spare, so we can do something as a workshop.
Johan, to add to that, Tissa, thank you so much. We humbly appreciate you for offering the opportunity for Entrepreneurs Lanka members to reach out to you. I think that's an invaluable chance. And yes, we didn't expect that. So we are very thrilled. It was an amazing session. Again, thank you so much for everything.